Now look at us. I am panicking, bro. You got to think about it this way. We lost to the Orlando fucking Magic. The Orlando Magic. And losing the game, yeah, it happens. But we got blown the fuck out. If you're not panicking now, I don't know what the fuck you got to do. Because at this certain point in my lifetime, I have watched the Lakers, I have watched LeBron, and I know when the team is on bullshit, bro. LeBron is old. He can't carry. I get that. Understandable. AD hurt again. So I have to think about in my head, are we frauds or not? We are fucking frauds. We are not a good team. It may look sexy sometimes, but even when we did beat the Orlando Magic on them back-to-back, we barely fucking beat them, and now we can't even, we're getting blown out. I think about it. If you look at the odds, right, against the fucking Houston Rockets, I think the Houston Rockets are the favorite. This shit is fucking crazy to me. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just talking right now. I'm just frustrated with the Lakers and their bullshit. They need to stop this because it's gonna roll over into the playoffs. And we're back. All right, live. We are here. Hi, Colin. How you doing? Gio.
Yo. Doing well.
Live episode. It's a lot of energy. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm hyped on sugar right now, so I'm just yelling. So can you yell for me?
Yeah.
Can you yell for me?
There you go.
Colin don't usually like to yell, but listen. It's Anthony Edwards time. Anthony Edwards is the new Michael Jordan.
Oh, whoa.
That was like one comment, and then the next one was like 50 to 100. Right?
Oh, yeah. Zero to 100 real quick. Shout out Drake. But no, I think that Anthony Edwards has been so impressive at this point.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I think that if you look at the T-Wolves' two biggest wins, who did they beat? The Denver Nuggets and the Boston Celtics. All right. Both teams are the best team on the West. The Denver Nuggets, obviously, Jokic has looked unstoppable. And I didn't think they were going to lose, but guess who took them down? And Edwards. If you look on the other side of the coin, on the Eastern, the Boston Celtics have looked phenomenal. They look like monsters. Nobody's going to stop them. Jason Tatum, he locked Jason Tatum up. That was sexy right there, you know, pause. But it was just a great basketball. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's the type of thing I like to see for Anthony Edwards. I think when we look at like Luka's been great, right? But when you look at Anthony Edwards and his progression, right, it's really here. Like everybody's been saying that he's going to be the next Michael Jordan, joking or not. But at this point, he's going to be an elite player. Like he's taking down top-notch teams. And that's we got to give that man his credit. Shout out to that boy from the A. You know what I mean?
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned Luka too, because ESPN just came out with their top 25 players under 25. Luka's number 1 and Anton's number 2. Luka's about to turn 25 soon. So like really it's Anthony Edwards is number one. So like he's been hooping and he could turn it on like that. Like if he's like he could be the fastest player in the NBA if he wants to. He could go from one side of the court to the other in a blink of an eye if he wants to. Again, like this is just Anthony Edwards having fun. He could ball no matter what. He could hoop like nobody else. And I don't even know if we've seen his full like 100%. Like I don't even know if
he's under 25, probably not.
I don't think he's given 100% in a full game. And that's the scary thing too.
Well, that's the thing about like Tatum, right? The joke was, oh, he's 19. But like if you look at the progression of Tatum this year, it's something special. And he's getting older and he's reaching his prime. So Anthony Edwards, when he's not even at his prime, that's the fucking crazy part because he put up 38 against the Celtics. He had 5 fouls and he was still being aggressive. Like, I don't give a fuck. My mentality is like, I'm going to guard you up. You know what he said? He was like, yo, they don't want to see me foul out, so I'm just going to play aggressive. And that's smart. Shout out to the NBA. We know what you're up to. But also, he's averaging 28 points, right? And they're 4-2 right now. And
50, 40, 80 splits, too. So that's efficient as fuck.
That's important. And you got to think about it like this, bro. Cat hasn't really been doing shit. And he's paired up with Rudy Gobert and them boys.
Gobert's had a good start to the year. I know. Everyone wants to hate Rudy Gobert.
I know what he does. I know who he is. Like, Gobert is an important. Gobert.
Country Perkins.
He's a good player.
Yeah.
But when it's all said and done, like,
I know.
It's not. Yeah.
I just get a little sensitive when people talk about him like he's absolutely like dog shit.
He's not dog shit. It's just like
I don't like his game.
I
don't like his game.
It's 90s basketball.
I also don't like him.
Offensively, I think he's a liability. No?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's why they got
go back to him.
That's why they got the GOAT Nas Reed.
Nas Reed's
coming up.
Yeah, for sure.
Stay tuned.
But I think Anthony Edwards, I mean, he is special. We're watching something and it's blossoming. I think the NBA is in good fucking hands right now. And to the point, I just want to see Anthony Edwards excel and be that guy. Like, I think he can be a guy that wins multiple championships. I don't know if he stays in Minnesota, but he will win multiple championships.
He could do it in Minnesota. Honestly, I think they're building a kind of a good, team unit that's young. Like, listen, we joke around Nas Reed a lot with all the memes of Nas Reed, but he's
fucking good.
He's a good player. And then Jaden McDaniels hit some big shots against the Celtics too. Like he's no joke either, and he's doing pretty well. So it's the downfall of Cat, honestly. Like you're seeing it. Like you've never like this is a player that everyone was so hyped about, and he was going to be the next big thing. And Cat's good, but like he hasn't hit that like level of where everyone expected him to be or where he should have been. And that's kind of the thing of now you got to choose. The Timberwolves kind of have to choose between Ant and Cat. I know there's an obvious choice. There's an obvious choice, but they kind of have to decide which way they want to go. Do they want to keep going with Cat, or do they just want to build around Ant?
That sale, it's Anthony Edwards.
I know. Trust me. I know this, but the Timberwolves need to decide that.
No, they know. They
just got to. The segment is Ant is the next Jordan, not Cat. That's the answer.
You said what?
Yeah. I said the segment is Ant is the next Jordan, not Cat.
I agree with you.
Exactly.
I'm not saying Cat is the next Jordan, but I'm just saying it's Anthony Edwards' team.
Well, you mentioned 25 under 25, right? And one player that they didn't mention on that list is Cam Thomas.
Bullshit.
Cam Thomas is 22 and legit. He could be a top 10 player by the end of the year.
Whoa.
You like that, right?
I do like that.
You like that. And the reason why I say that is because when we was at the game last year and he broke the like rookie record or the age, whatever the fuck it was. I think that
he puts records to bed every night.
Yeah, but the Nets were trying to tank. They were. So they wasn't letting the boy off the leash, right? And like my thing is like when you look at SGA, right, back in his time, like he was young, you saw the potential of what he could be, but he was killing motherfuckers out there. But he wasn't SGA yet. Now he's SGA. And I think Cam Thomas, with this ability to grow, there is no Kevin Durant now. He's a starter. He can actually sit there and cook. He's the best. Cam Thomas is the best player on the Brooklyn Nets.
I agree.
So I think when you look at his performance where he had 45, a breakout performance, which is like nothing to him. If he keeps elevating and having games like that, he has to be mentioned within the top 10 players in the league. Because how do you have a 25 and under and not even mention him? That's fucking crazy.
He's the youngest person. He's the second youngest guy to start a season with 30+ point games, and the youngest guy ever did it was Shaq. That's fucking crazy. They also got that LSU connection. But no, we were talking to Coach after the game because he just had 45 against Milwaukee the other night, and he said that like last year, Cam was doing that last year, but now he's doing it this year, and he's also passing. He's also playing defense. He was talking about how you've seen the things that have grown to make him more of an all-around player. Like scoring is still his thing, make no mistake about that, but he's doing stuff that is going to make them like that. The leash is gone. Like, and he's had games where he's, he still had like 15, like 20 points, but like he hasn't like had it, and they still leave him out there. So it's good to see, that leash is gone.
Cam Thomas is a guard. He just dropped 45. He had 2 assists. That's real fucking hoop right there. That's real type of ball. I love it. Like he is so electric. So electrifying. He's averaging 28 points this season. And it's weird to talk about like top 10 and then Cam Thomas because it's kind of like it's a knee-jerk reaction. You got
no one's gonna give him that this soon because people like to see it for a little while. I'm guilty of that too.
But I mean, 6 games, he's had 4 of the 6 have over 20 points. Like that's good. And 3 of them are over 30.
First were 30 buckets.
Yeah.
He's coming off a 45 point.
Like
above 50% shooting from the field.
That's legit. That's legit.
I just want to shout out Ben Simmons because Ben Simmons had 2 points and 15 rebounds. Is that motherfucker a center or a fucking point guard?
I don't know. I seriously.
Listen, I'm not even mad about like Ben Simmons scoring at this point.
He's the weirdest player ever
because the fact that
not good or bad, it's just weird.
In the assist column or the rebound columns, it's going to be something special. That's amazing to me. But a lot of games he has been going over his over. His over is like 8 points. And like he's been cooking. That's how I know the Hornets suck. Ben Simmons had his over like before halftime. Like the Hornets are horrible. But shout out Ben Simmons for that, bro.
They took all of Ben Simmons' scoring and they just gave it to Cam Thomas, essentially. Cam Thomas is scoring for the
both.
I'm just saying.
Ben Simmons had no scoring. You can't put a score and Ben Simmons in the same conversation.
But it's like Cam Thomas is scoring for two players, essentially, and then Ben Simmons just there.
That makes a lot.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. He's scoring for 2 players.
He's breaking like Nets records, but like all the records are like passing or like assist by a point guard, like rebounds for a point guard. You don't see anything in the point department.
I love the Ben Simmons experience.
We got Cam for that, baby.
Brooklyn. Now it's time to go to Manhattan. It's time to take what train do we take to Manhattan?
I live in Manhattan.
The G
so
train.
I take the D to go from.
But anyways, we got Julius Randle being the biggest fraud of history. He's having a.
I've been saying this for years now.
Yes.
Listen, Julius Randle, you need to be ejected from New York. Now, I thought that the New York Knicks fans were too harsh on Julius Randle. I thought that they were like when they were tearing down his sign and shit like that. I'm like, yo, this man's had all-star seasons, and
I agree with you there.
I was like, yo, relax, New York. That's why people don't want to come here. But here's the fucking problem, bro. That man, the pass is over. You had what is it, your 4th season in New York? I don't know. I just feel like at this point, I think that when you've been struggling, I think he had 27 the other night against the Clippers.
He did. He had a good game.
But the first time, but he's averaging 15 points. And I think they need him to step up and score because Brunson and RJ's having a good year, but Brunson and RJ can't do everything. You have to be that guy to step up, and he hasn't been that guy. And I think we're seeing the same broken record over and over and over and over again. So to the point of that, I think it's time for the Knicks to sit there and move on because the Knicks are not a contender. They're not.
No.
So at this point, what do you do? Like, do you just sit there and just watch him?
You buy a time machine and you go back to when Julius Randle's stock was higher and you trade him is what you did. He takes one-legged fading away shots at the end of the shot clock. They are so low percentage. It was only a matter of time before he had a season start like this where his numbers, his efficiency are just down horribly.
Julius Randle has the worst turnovers you have ever seen in your life. It's some of the most.
That Knicks offense will be hopping and then he'll sit and then he'll hold the ball and then he'll try to do something and he'll dribble it off.
It was a couple games ago. It was like Jalen Brunson hit it, took a shot, like missed, and it was like in crunch time. And Julius Randle like sulked and was like pissed off and was going on the other end when he's shooting 29% from the field. It was awful. And like the Julius Randle experience in New York has been like every other year he's been good. So it's like a bad year, then the All-Star year, bad year, good year, and then now we're seeing the bad year. I thought this year was going to be the good year, but it's clearly the bad year.
I think when he gets to the playoffs, you've seen like critical moments when you need him to step up. He has it. He's in a shell of himself.
Yeah.
It's just like at this point, it's like you're holding the team back.
Yeah.
And like you've been a good player. My thing with Julius Randle, it's not even that he's a bad player. It's just more so like if you need somebody to be the guy, he's not that guy.
Yeah,
and
not that guy.
He wants to be the guy though.
I still think like he's like a good story. Like when he went to the Lakers and he was like one of the Lakers' first like lotto picks in a while. People thought he was going to be like this star. He really wasn't. And then he was in like New Orleans and he was starting to get labeled as like a bust. He's a great story that he revitalized his career and he's still like a solid contributing NBA player. But he can't be the best player on a championship team. Definitely, he can't be the second best player. Fringe third best player on a championship team.
I think he just needs to be moved. I don't think New York, like, it just needs to be a change of scenery. Again, it sucks, but it is what it is. Because now you have like the guy is Jalen Brunson here, and then RJ Barrett's actually been pretty decent. Mitchell Robinson has a trillion offensive rebounds, Like, I just don't think the fit is there with.
That's the worst with Jalen Brunson.
With Julius Randle. We got some
motherfucker. I had you for 20 points.
I knew as soon as you said that, I knew it was gonna be.
And he gave me 7 fucking points. 7. And yo, hold on. I got to rant, bro. The Clippers and the fucking Knicks. I'm never betting on you motherfuckers again because this shit is insane. Jalen Brunson had 7 fucking points.
That's bad.
I think fucking Paul George had 12 points. What the fuck are we doing? Paul George had 5 points in the first fucking half.
I saw it was.
What are we doing?
The Knicks game?
And I get it. James Harden debut. You guys are confused. Don't know what the fuck to do. I knew James Harden was gonna give me like 10 points, 8 assists, or whatever the fuck he had. That's what he does. You know what I'm saying? He's consistent with that. In his first debut, I didn't expect him to go crazy. But Paul George, you just start talking about you're treating this year different. You're with all the smoke and you're doing stretching every fucking night. Listen, man. I got money to make here. I don't know what the fuck you doing. I'm trying to make some fucking money, bro. Anyway, no, my bad.
That was his first bad game all year. He was shooting above 50% from 3. Before that, goes 1 of 6.
But of course, when I bet on
that's
that,
that's the rule. When they find out the guy that JBobby bet on, he's like, all right, that's how it goes. Adam Silver's NBA.
Oh man, listen. I wanted to rant about LeBron James and Lakers, right? Whatever, but being frauds. And we have another fraud motherfucker talking about LeBron James again. Dillon Brooks said he can't wait to lock up LeBron James. And I feel like I get it. You're confident, you're playing the villain, and I understand it. But at this certain point, you just gotta shut up, bro. because let's just say LeBron gives him 30.
Yeah.
At this point, like you just look goofy. Like I understand you're playing a role as the villain.
Yeah.
But what Steph did to you the other night, you have to have some type of like chill. Because like if you look at what Steph Curry did to him, right?
Yeah.
You know you're not on that level.
Mm.
You can't lock up them guys. And I feel like LeBron is old as shit, like he said. And LeBron still give you the work last year.
Yeah.
So LeBron's going to do it again. Well, if LeBron's not being lazy. But it just depends on that. I just feel like Dillon Brooks is one of those players that's going to talk himself out of the league eventually.
No, I actually don't agree with that. I think Dillon Brooks, like, this is his brand.
He's had a good start to the year.
He's had a good start of the year with the Rockets. Listen, this is just Dillon Brooks' brand. Honestly, it's just to talk shit like this, and he's going to constantly do it. Like Patrick Beverley does the same thing, and he's still in the league. But like he backs it up. Trust me, I know. And Dillon Brooks does it too at the same time. Like he's had a good start to the year with the Rockets. He's making the Memphis Grizzlies kind of regret not wanting to sign him. But this is his thing. Dillon Brooks is just going to talk his talk, and he's going to do it for the rest of his career. And that's okay. You know what? I've accepted it at this point. That's okay. Just try and be the villain. Just, back it up sometimes. You need to back it up, or it's just going to get corny. And then he'll just be the corny guy.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah.
I bet being Dillon Brooks' therapist has got to be the craziest job in the world.
You think he goes to therapy?
He should. And then he's like, so like I'm just like better than like LeBron, like Michael Jordan's therapist. Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it though in a player's mentality, and like when you go on the court, you have to like think in your own head, even if it's not true. It's very much not true. You got to think like I'm the best player on this court, or you already lost. So Dillon Brooks is just saying it out loud. He's just vocalizing it. Maybe he shouldn't, but you got to go on the court, think you're the best player on the court, or you're going to lose. You already lost.
You're right. Stand 10 on it, though. It was weird last year when he was like, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he kind of was like, oh, like everyone's painting me out to be like this bad guy. Like when they lost in the playoffs.
But now he wants to be the bad guy. And now the Rockets are not good. But he's good. Rockets are not good, but he's all right.
When your team wins, it's like, yeah, you want your team to win, and you're going to like your social media accounts, and you're just like, you look at the memes, and you're like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
But Brazil has taken it way too far. The Brazil NBA accounts are some of the freakiest things that you will ever see.
Yeah,
like freak bulls.
Are they associated with the NBA, or is it just
no, they got
something?
I think they got the yellow. I think they got the yellow check. I'll try and find it.
There's no way.
I'll find it, but I think they got the yellow check, which is kind of scary.
You had one
because anyone can get a blue check these days. Like
I'm gonna say it. You had one with the wolf, like deep throwing in a guy.
Oh no,
but he wasn't it wasn't like that.
No, it was the wolf eating another wolf, and he was like.
But he kept
swallowing. I'm not gonna do it. No, it's too bad. It's too bad. Just a big pause. No, it's a blue check. They got a blue check.
Okay. I know they're not associated. I mean, I know Brazil. They get down like that. Don't ask me how I know.
Investigative.
Yeah, we're investigating. Their cover.
You good?
Their cover photo is a picture of Anthony Edwards and Michael Jordan standing next to each other.
Oh, they know.
They know. But like,
I just don't. I think that they caught on to us like knowing about that. And they're just like
they keep
doing it for impressions. Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, what was it? It's awesome. It's hysterical.
Well, I love it.
Someone, I can't remember who
he said, "Keep up the good work."
Who recently played the Bucks? I forget who.
The Nets did 2 nights ago.
I don't know if it was the Nets or it was a different team that beat the Bucks. And the Brazil account, because every team's got a Brazil account. The Brazil account was a video of someone running over a deer, and the deer just flying. And it's like, the Brazil is just they're unhinged, and I love it. I love seeing it on my timeline.
I thought you said they're unhinged. I was like,
no, they're unhinged. They're unhinged, and I love it.
I was like, they're dating now.
Just matched with NBA Brazil Houston Rockets.
I love seeing it on my timeline. It cracks me up how ridiculous this is. They got no rules over there. They're just that's not Adam Silver's NBA, and I love it.
Yeah, he made a joke as NBA.
Oh man, so contenders or pretenders? We're gonna play a game. Yes. And you're going to tell me whether they're contenders or pretenders.
Sure.
And first up, we have the Dallas Mavericks. Are they contenders or pretenders?
Contenders, in my opinion.
I'm going to say, contenders. I'm going to go with contenders.
Listen, I had the Dallas Mavericks in my top 5 teams, but they are no longer in my top 5 teams. Because when they played the fucking Denver Nuggets, I saw some of the laziest, sloppiest basketball I ever seen. And all I saw was Luka complaining to the refs over and over and over again, and it wasn't enough. So like when they have to play like the Denver Nuggets, they're probably gonna get swept. That's how bad it's gonna be. And I don't think they have enough to compete with a team like that. I saw them get exposed, and I realized it's been the Luka show. Luka's gonna get 30. He is like he's just that good. And I think Kyrie is like in more so his end days in terms of like he's still a great player, but like I don't think it's enough to compete with teams like that. And I think when their initial thinking when they paired Luka with Kyrie was supposed to be like LeBron and Kyrie, and it is not that. And I like the Mavericks. I think they're gonna get to the playoffs, but like realistically, winning a championship, that team is not winning a championship. It's just to me, I just seen enough from that, and I know it's early, but if they can't make a trade or make a move, Grant Williams is not enough.
You know what? That's kind of like that's why I said cusp contenders because like they could be.
Yeah, I'm not betting on them to win
right,
championship,
but they could be a
I think
contender if they try. Like that's the key thing is like if they try, like if they're not lazy,
if
like
you try really hard and you believe in yourself.
But that's what we're talking about is the lazy defense, right? It's Luka complaining to the refs and then Kyrie not really going 100%. Like it's those are your two guys, and if they're not showing their full potential 100%, they're not leading by example. It's going to trickle down, and it's not going to show. So.
Yeah, I mean they're winning games. I think I'm just at the point where like what I'm seeing from Luka is so next level.
Yeah,
I just think like he can elevate the team. Grant Williams has been playing great to start this year. I love what I'm seeing from Derek Lively. I think if I'm looking at Kyrie right now, odds are is he gonna like stay like this the rest of the year? Or is he gonna turn up a little more? I feel like odds are he's gonna turn it up a little bit more. I'm not betting on them to win a chip, but I think they. You got a guy like Luka. Anything can happen. That's just how I feel.
Anything is possible. Oh. All right. Contenders or pretenders? The Philadelphia 76ers.
Pretenders.
Yeah, pretenders.
Contenders. Motherfuckers contenders.
Stop it.
The Sixers are contenders, bro.
Stop.
You saw what we did to the Wizards? Listen, bro.
The Wizards.
No,
Wizards.
They're playing good.
4 of their wins are against lottery teams.
They should have beat the Bucks.
Okay,
but you can't do anything like whatever's in front of you.
Kelly Oubre's he had a bad game against the Wizards, but I'm saying he's going nuts. That's not going to last.
Yeah, it's not.
No,
it's not sustainable.
Fair. But I think the main thing is Tyrese Maxey and fucking Joel Embiid. All right, bet Tyrese Maxey 3-pointers a game. It's hit.
Good luck.
I have a gambling problem. It's bad.
We all do.
But no, I think that those two players is really like what's going to move the team forward. And I feel like the chemistry has been great. And, I think that when Embiid sits on the bench, Maxey does push the team forward. Like he controls the offense, he leads them right, and he does the right thing. Kelly Oubre, I think Tobias Harris has been playing well. I think that he is another people hate, but I think he's always been solid for them. And I think that with the addition of Nick Nurse and how he's coaching, he's doing wonders for that team. People don't understand that.
I like Nick Nurse.
Doc Rivers and Nick Nurse are two different animals, and they've been looking good. The minutes that he's been like his rotations, you know what I'm saying? He's getting my bag, and their rotations, it's been really like beautiful. Like it's been great, and it's like you're not gonna get those stupid mistakes that Doc Rivers was on. Like you know what I'm saying? We're gonna make the right adjustments, and we're gonna play well. So under this team, under this coach, and what's been going on now, I believe that the Sixers are contenders, especially in the East, at least.
You're honestly doing a good job of convincing me, but with the past two teams, but I'm still gonna say pretenders. I'm out of the process. I do like Tyrese Maxey a lot. Nick Nurse brings a whole different element to the team that Doc just couldn't do. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see like a post James Harden world of like how they do with the full season without that distraction.
Contenders or pretenders? The Los Angeles Clippers.
Pretenders. I'm gonna straight up say pretenders.
I'm gonna say contenders just because there's too much talent there on paper to not. Like if I'm picking one or the other, I'm only contender.
Pretenders. Yes. I mean, it's first game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hardest one to judge.
I can't really put all my eggs in one basket, as they like to say. But I just think that when I looked at that roster, right, you have the 3 greatest players on paper: Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and James Harden. And you telling me they couldn't beat the Knicks?
It's a first game.
That is first
game.
I
don't. I'm just saying the Knicks. You can't beat the Knicks.
I hear you. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, listen. Motherfucking Jalen Brunson had 7 points, and you let Julius Randle get 27, his best game of the year. So I'm not buying that. You could put all your stock into that. But for me, I'm just not jacking them. I just feel like James Harden, the experiment with the big threes and being on super teams has not paid off well for him. And I don't know if the chemistry is there. I think with Russ, him, and Kawhi and Paul George, it's just too much. How do you even get that team to work?
Yeah.
How?
I think Ty Lue can do it.
Because
Ty Lue's been a great coach in this league. There's too much talent that we do this thing whenever super teams load up where we try to convince ourselves why it won't work. Like the chemistry, there's like one ball. They're talented players. I think Ty Lue's gonna do a good job staggering these guys, like distributing like minutes between Russ and Harden because they are kind of similar players now. Every team needs to stay healthy. The Clippers especially though, because they've lost because they haven't been healthy before. But if as long as shit doesn't hit the fan, and shit has hit the fan the last like 5 years, so I'm assuming like finally maybe it won't happen this time. I'm gonna leave.
That's why I'm like leaning pretender, because like you just don't know with the injuries. Like Kawhi and Paul George, they just need to stay on the court, and even if they stay on the court, it's now they're experiencing the James Harden experience. You know, this is a whole different thing. James Harden has constantly like been bouncing around, like from the Rockets to the Nets to then the 76ers, and now he's here. Like, will he be like just happy here? Will he be like complacent with where he's at and like just want to win?
His last two coaches were Steve Nash, dog shit. Doc Rivers, dog shit.
True.
Ty Lue is a good coach. That's where my faith lies.
That's
He'll
hopeful.
figure it
I'm
out.
I'm hopeful for Ty Lue to kind of right the ship, but like I don't know, we'll see.
Listen, I am the system.
Cam Thomas is the system.
All right, contenders or pretenders? The Oklahoma City Thunders. That's it, Thunders. Oklahoma City Thunders. Are they contenders or pretenders?
Pretenders.
I want to say.
Do you like when we say contender, we're saying championship contender.
Okay, yeah.
You really believe this early they're gonna contend for a championship?
No?
Yeah, so
Exactly.
I'm gonna say pretender. They're almost there. They're like right there.
Pretenders.
They're gonna beat a lot of good teams.
Yeah.
They're gonna be a team no one wants to play.
They're gonna be fun.
But they're not gonna strike fear in anyone's heart as a contender.
They're a 2K team, man. Eventually they're gonna be really good and they compete for championships, and then they're gonna break up, and then we're gonna like make 80 fucking videos about them, and then like memes and like, yo, remember this team? It's a great time in my life. That's all it's gonna be, bro. At this point, I feel like the Thunders, they're fun.
I was looking.
Say, Gio, they're fun.
They are fun. The Oklahoma City Thunder are a fun team. But I was looking at their draft picks too, just for fun. Because someone made a meme of
many.
You know how Miami made
the
Heat court. They put the picks.
Yeah.
They have 4 first-round picks this year. 4 first-round picks. What the fuck?
They got to trade some of them. You can't have
just
many players on your roster.
It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. And they're gonna be contenders next year. They are pretenders this year. They're gonna be under a lot of fun. They're gonna be a fun team this year. They're gonna make the playoffs. They're gonna cause a little bit of havoc, but they're not gonna compete for the championship.
All right, man. Last but definitely not least, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Are they contenders or pretenders?
Pretenders. Can't say that fast enough.
I'm going contender.
You're sick.
I'm going pretender.
You gotta go pretender.
I like that Anthony Edwards beat the Celtics and the Nuggets, but I just don't think he has enough help in the series to get him through those teams.
Yeah,
like he can get 2 of them, but in the series, no.
Yeah, my thing is that I like the Clippers. We like to just like look at the Timberwolves and like the Clippers and like make fun of them and be like, oh, they lose every year, or they choke and stuff like that. I try not to buy into that stuff because it's just like it has nothing to do with the makeup of the team. Cat, Anthony Edwards, and Rudy only played 26 games together last year. So like they got to stay healthy, but they've done that so far this year and it's looked really fucking good. I'm going contender.
I'm not.
I have to say, like, I'm a believer in like a person, who they are and what they're showing me. Right.
Yeah.
There is, how you say, oh, he got that dog in him.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
I agree.
And I always felt about Cat that he didn't have that dog.
Sure.
Like he literally didn't have that dog. And like Gobert, like he's good defensively, but like offensively, he's a liability. Now, the reason I'll even back that argument, Jeff Teague said on his podcast that him and Jimmy Butler were like, yo, Cat's amazing. He said he was Wemby before Wemby and he could do all that shit. He was just like, we're going to let him cook because he's the best player. after 3 games, Jimmy Butler was like, nah,
Yeah.
he's not that guy.
Yeah.
Because he's talented as fuck, but is he that guy? And I feel like no matter what it is, you need somebody to pair with them, or you need like a complete roster to get them through. I don't think they have a complete roster to compete for a championship. Now you really look at that team like they're gonna win a championship. No, there's no way.
None of these teams are like the Celtics are like no. So like, am I betting on any of these teams?
Fair.
Probably not.
Fair, fair.
I like them better than the Thunder. I like them better than the Sixers. I might even like them better. I think I like them better than the Mavericks too.
You mentioned earlier that Cat was like not even a third. Like he's basically a third option on a championship team.
Yeah.
Like but right now on the Timberwolves, he's the second option. It's Ant then him. Sadly,
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying earlier that they need to like decide between Anthony Edwards and Cat. They decided with Ant, so they need to move Cat to build around Anthony Edwards. Because I think you could do it with Rudy Gobert still on the team. Because again, that defensive presence.
Well, no one's going to take Rudy Gobert.
No one's going to take it. So you have to do it with Rudy. But defensively, like I love his game defensively. Three times defensive
his
player
game defensively, just because I like the faster switchable centers. He's not that. But
he's still a monster in the paint. And then you have Jaden McDaniels are coming up. I love Naz Reid. Shout out Naz Reid. I can't say that enough. But like they need another piece. They need someone else to score or pair with Ant, like you said. Cat's not it. So until they get that, then they're not going to be a contender.
Do you think Anthony Edwards has enough of that dog in him to make up for the lacking that dog in Cat?
Maybe.
Because that's not an.
I
kind of think that, and I look at guys like I feel like we used to say that we used to say that about guys like Jokic, like, oh, he doesn't seem to have that like fiery competitiveness. He doesn't like ball. Jimmy Butler has it, and he's won great games, but he's also never won a championship.
He doesn't have enough around him.
You're right.
There's
context to everything.
Settle down with the Jimmy Butler slander. Settle down.
Relax.
Settle down.
The Nuggets now, like that team is complete. Also, MPJ 2 threes lock. Listen, I'm telling you.
So
bro,
take the under.
Listen, that shit hit. I want some bets now. Don't get twisted.
Okay.
But hit me with your parlays if you're trying to, help me with some money. But shout out Discord.
I'll tell you a lock. It's Jason Tatum 30+ points every game. He averaged
yes and no.
He averaged 30 last year.
Not until February when he has his inevitable fall.
That's fine.
The Sixers and Celtics playing tonight.
The
Nuggets and the Golden State Warriors playing tonight.
You'll make more money.
A lot of money on the tables
because it's still plus money.
James Harden and Russell Westbrook, defensive backcourt. Cam Thomas 30+.
Yo, Wemby Garden tonight.
Wemby's sickening.
Wemby at the Garden.
Wemby 23,
32.
32.
32.
I'm going to say
20. 30 the other night.
I'm going to say 23.
I love Wemby.
Or maybe 25 points, 12 rebounds, 8 blocks.
Listen, man,
like he's a freak.
I'm going big. I'm going 32.
You guys laughed at me when I said Wemby was going to be top 5 in MVP. I don't know.
Cap.
Not MVP, but you're not going to give that award to.
Stop.
He's got a chance to be all NBA.
Top 5.
All NBA.
I don't know.
All NBA.
We'll
all NBA.
All right. Anyway, listen. They got smoked by the Pacers, and he fucking sat.
Hey, Pacers, the kings of this year.
Shout out
to best point guard in the league, bro.
Buddy Hield. No one wants Buddy Hield.
Tyrese Halliburton is
Nobody
best
wants
point guard
Buddy
in the
Hield.
league, right?
Why does no one want Buddy Hield?
Unless LaMelo Ball's guarding him down the stretch.
You tell me why no one wants Buddy Hield?
I also love LaMelo. Only good player.
Listen, man. Thank y'all for joining us. This has been another episode of Hard in the Paint. If you're a degenerate gambler like me, go to thegameday.com and find all your sports betting tips. Colin, Gio, thank you once again. This has been Hard in the Paint with JBobby, and thank y'all for joining us live. Gang, gang.